This is the KoperCrabb Podcast.
Oh shit, we're back.
Oh, I thought we were going to do a clean show.
Oh no, sorry. We were gonna come back with a clean version, but I just dropped the ball right away. I'm sorry, Grandma.
Okay. I'm trying to remember how to do this.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm blowing up the mixing board.
I have to be honest, I felt like I would have a lot, like I've been feeling kind of anxious about doing a first episode back.
Yeah.
But now it feels good.
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous.
After hearing the song and everything, it's like hearing, do you remember back in the day when every band had like a crazy breakdown intro?
Yeah. It's like you had, it started with like an open chord and the cymbals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were like, oh man, it's about to go down.
I'm feeling like one might feel when their intro music came on in 2007.
Well, we brought it back. Popular demand.
I feel like we both always kind of knew that we would bring it back.
Yeah.
But it's just been getting around to doing it.
Yeah, totally. So I guess it's pretty obvious that we took quite a long break. Did we not? How long? Like, I don't even know. 5 months or something? 4
or 5 months, I would say. I don't know the exact numbers.
So was the break like as long as we did the podcast? That was as long as the break?
It could have.
I think we did it a little longer. Yeah,
because we're coming up on a year. I looked yesterday, and so in a month would have been a year. So I think we did it for just over half a year.
Let's just keep doing that, and then you can shortcut a bunch of years. You know, going deep 10 years. Just do 1 month a year.
Yeah. Well, or we could just like every so often drop off, like we just did out of nowhere.
Just drop off. You don't know where we're going.
Yeah, you guys don't ever know when we're gonna drop off, but it'll happen again. I'm sure.
You think so? We're gonna stay back on a schedule.
I want to stay back on a schedule for at least a while. I would like to keep doing the podcast again, but I guess we should at least talk about why we stopped doing it, because that was a little weird.
I guess so. It was pretty weird, wasn't it?
It was kind of weird. It was really abrupt. I think we decided in one night that we were going to stop doing it.
I don't know if it was really like, oh, we're done doing the podcast, or if it was just sort of like, let's just not do it this week. And then that was it after that, right?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
It just kind of kept going. I mean, we did do an episode with Zach Oren before.
Which we have in the bank.
I'm sure we'll post in a few episodes. But we did that. And then there was just some, honestly, so the whole quarantine thing happened, right? Right when we were doing our last couple of episodes, we were at the beginning of the quarantine.
Yep.
We had just put out a new song. We started putting out 2 episodes a week.
Went too hard.
We went a little too hard, and honestly, every single person like turned to the internet the minute that the quarantine began. So it's like, I think that for me personally, I'm sure you could probably relate to this, I felt I didn't really want to add to the static.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it was like, it's just so many people online with everything that's going on. You know, I don't even need to name everything that's going on. Everybody knows. It's a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
So many people are, yelling at each other on the internet, like, look at me, listen to me, this, that, and the other thing. Whereas I think Chaney and I were just kind of like, you know what, let's just, I don't know, step back for a second. And that's sort of how I felt. You know, I wanted to just, sounds corny, but I kind of wanted to just like listen for a while and not be like, hey, look at me, listen to me talk, And I guess I've always had some reservation about doing the podcast. I said this in the first episode. I said part of my reservation for doing it is that I don't want to come off like I know everything and you should listen to me like I'm this smart guy or whatever. But on the flip side, I did say that I wanted to do it because I wanted to help people. And what was sort of surprising to me is that a lot of people said that it was helping them, right?
Yeah.
In one way or another. And it's, I guess because I don't view myself that way, you know. I don't.
Same.
It's not like
at all. We're just two people who like to
gab.
Yeah. we love talking.
Yeah. So I wasn't thinking like, oh yeah, I'm out here like helping people and stuff. But I think because you and I are always honest, that resonates with people, you know? So, I mean, one of the things that I want to do in life is help people one way or another. I think if I really sit down and think like, okay, what do I want to do in life? That's what I want to do one way or another. So with everybody saying that it helped them and messaging and whatnot.
And sending us stuff. Like
sending us stuff.
We got this in the mail.
Come on now, dude.
I think it was 2 weeks after we decided to stop doing the podcast. And no joke, I shed a tear because I was like, I can't believe that people care enough about Navene and I sitting down once a week and talking shit to each other.
I know.
Like we always do.
Right.
I can't believe that people care enough about that they want to like take things that we say literally and like make them into a slogan to put on a fucking shirt.
That's great. Yeah.
It reminded me of that scene in Forrest Gump. Or do you remember when Forrest Gump, he's running across the country and he comes across a guy who wants to make t-shirts?
Yeah.
And Forrest Gump like washes his face with the shirt and puts shit happens on the shirt. I was like, it just, I felt like, and just all of the messages that we've been getting.
It's crazy, man.
I don't think either of us ever realized that anyone really cared about the podcast or this stuff. And it really, really means a lot to me.
Totally. Me too. And I mean, I guess it's somewhat, I mean, not for us to sound like whiny or anything, but you know, you have to admit that every single person now has a podcast, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not that we're like innovators or anything, obviously, but it seems like, I don't know, so many people are trying to get people's attention. Yeah. And that's just, it's not something that I really want to come off as. Like, I don't want to come off like, look at me, look, I'm over here, I need your attention, you know, like I'm fine not getting attention. Like that's okay with me. Yeah,
I agree. And it's like, it's even to a point that I don't really like posting stuff on the it makes me feel weird. And it especially made me feel weird to like once a week post on the internet, look at our podcast, look at this.
I know.
It really makes me feel weird to do that stuff. So to contribute and to continue contributing to that static just didn't feel good to me at all. However, 6 months later, I'm kind of like, one thing that I can like step back from our podcast and say that I did enjoy about it is that we're fairly raw. We don't edit any of this shit. No. We shoot on our iPhones and we release video. And that's something that I don't often see happening. Yeah, everything is so polished these days, like to the T. Everything is just, it's so perfect, and you hear that so much. It's like, it's almost corny at this point, right? Everyone says, oh yeah, Instagram, it's not real. It's all perfect and polished and everything. No, but it's really true. It's like, I know. But I see people and every single thing that they post on Instagram is a polished picture from a photographer that they had come out and take pictures of them. And that's the only thing. And it's like void of personality and anything aside from the fake shit, the stuff that people are trying to actively look away from. And I don't think, not that I think that is wrong. I have friends who do this. It doesn't like, I mean, we've done it. We've done it. But I do think that there is a sense of like polishing out the shitty stuff that actually happens to every person. Yeah. And just in like metal, that is not why I personally started getting into this shit. Yeah, I know. It's like, I love the rawness. I love the stuff that doesn't look like 100% perfect life. I know. And that's what I felt that we do put that stuff forward. We don't go through these podcasts and edit out anything. No. You guys get what we say. Yeah. Obviously. And maybe
Not
this
surprising.
sounds like a humble brag. I'm not trying to like brag or say that.
Well, we're trying to talk about why we think maybe we should keep doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's hard to talk about being down to earth because when you're talking about being down to earth,
You're like, I'm an
you're
asshole.
automatically not down to earth anymore. But
Maybe
yeah,
that's a part of being down to earth.
Dude, that's
don't know.
why I had a really hard time even like back in my day. I grew up going to hardcore shows and really small shows, and it was spoken about out loud, like, we're playing on the floor. There's no fucking fancy light shows or any of that bullshit.
Yeah, dude.
No rock stars. This was like the theme, right?
The fucking theme.
I mean, you had people selling books at shows. You guys remember those books?
I wasn't around for the book distro.
Dude, book
distro.
Book distro.
But I was around for the CD vinyl distro. Hardcore is still alive right now, but there was like that kind of scene was still thriving.
I mean, when I think about it, it's so weird. It's just the weirdest thing I can think of.
Yeah.
Just that whole thing. But and I had a hard time just adjusting to like, even because Animosity, we started hardcore, I guess, but we were always really into metal.
Wait, you began hardcore, or
we
you started as a hardcore
a more
band?
hardcore-ish band.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, we really got into death metal and stuff, and I always had kind of like a weird feeling. We all did about like we love metal. Don't get me wrong, but going from like a hardcore vibe into the metal scene where there's not really that known. Hey, everybody's the same.
Brotherhood.
Yeah.
The brother and sisterhood. Yeah.
I mean,
I think it comes from like straight edge hardcore mostly.
I guess,
It's like, well, the bands that I knew that were like preaching brotherhood and togetherness and shit, it seemed like it came from the straight edge. I mean, I don't fucking know. I'm not a hardcore historian.
It was all different. I don't know. It's just so weird. Like when I think back on it, it was like you had literally every type of person that you could imagine. And they all went to shows, and you did have straight edge, not straight edge, vegan, people drinking 40s, Hare Krishnas. I mean, it was just bizarre. And that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
So.
And it was raw as fuck.
Raw as fuck.
It wasn't like it wasn't cool to get like sick professional photos. That's or like pose like a model. You know what I mean?
I know.
It wasn't fucking cool.
So I guess that's sort of to my detriment. That's why I'm not like a good business guy. I'm not trying to like, capitalize on everything that I'm into.
Yeah.
But that's kind of that vibe that you get by looking at Instagram and Facebook and stuff. And like, for me, it's really discouraging. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm so tired of the look at me, buy my shit. Of course we have to do it to an extent, but I guess when you just see it like one after the other all day, it's just like, fuck, man. I want to just talk to me like you're my friend.
Yeah.
Like, would you, I try to at least put forth things on the internet that I would maybe send to a friend in a private message.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, I don't know, this persona or whatever.
Exactly. Bingo. Persona. I found myself the other day becoming nostalgic over the days of food pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, there's no food pictures
There's
anymore.
no food picture. And if it is a food picture, it's taken with your Sony, your Canon Mark II.
No, it's like, what are they called? Like food influencers or something like that.
It's a food influencer posting it.
God. I mean, just that term, influencer, right? It's like your sole existence is to get people to influence people to buy stuff.
Every time I've heard people call themselves influencers, and chills. I get chills down my spine when someone calls themselves an influencer.
Like, yeah, I'm trying to, when I put my art forward, what I want to do is influence someone to want to buy something.
Yeah.
So that they can be as happy as I'm pretending to be.
I
mean, that's cold, just in its nature.
Yeah.
But nobody, they don't stop to think about it. right? And then everybody wonders why they're not content.
Well, this is the thing about the music business. Up until this year, you go on tour, you make you sell merch, and that's how your team makes a lot of their money. This year, touring does not exist.
Right.
Touring is fucking gone. We don't, honestly, even though we're seeing people book dates and whatever, we don't have any idea when touring is going to come back. And
except for if it's at our house.
Might
do a house show.
A socially distanced house show. But there are a bunch of people who are really scrambling to make money right now.
And that's the thing, you know, I think I'm being sort of harsh on people because not everybody is like us where they have some sort of gig and a lot of people depend on music. They've invested themselves that long into music and they have to do that.
Absolutely.
You know, to get by. So so I get that at the same time, but that's a proof of why I never wanted to be 100% just relying on music.
Yeah.
Right? It takes the fun out of it for me. You know?
It does for me too. I mean, I will say, like, anytime that I'm doing music for fully paid purposes, I totally regret doing it. 100%. I don't.
Not when it's done though. When it's done,
it's fine. But performing your art for money is for me like one of the worst jobs I've had.
I know. And people, I think it kills it for sure. But, and we say this all the time, and it's something that I've been thinking about a lot more lately, obviously, is you should just do it. And it's the same, you should do it with the same effort, whether or not you're getting paid, or, you know, if you're getting nothing, you're getting paid, you're getting praised, not being praised.
Yeah.
Do the thing.
Just do it, and don't do it with this idea that you're going to take off and be rich and be a business person and, you know, have a sick car and sick house and all of these things.
There's nothing wrong with getting the sick house and the sick car.
Absolutely not. There's fine. Nothing wrong with it. But what I'm saying is that I feel like if those are your intentions, you're setting yourself up for failure from the start.
That's right.
Because you burn out really fucking quick on that stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Whereas if you're doing it for, hey, I'm doing this as a thing that, for whatever reason, my nature is to do this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And if people praise me, great. If they don't praise me, that's fine. If I get this, that, and the other thing, and I think that's why I've had a lot of problems, like I said, doing things that I don't necessarily want to do, overly promoting myself, this and other thing. Like one thing that I've always done, and it's something that happens with ease, is writing music.
Yeah.
Right. I've always got me. I don't have to. Oh, I'm gonna sit down and get. You know, like we have over 30 minutes now.
I was gonna say, which you've been doing a lot of during this.
Like, I just love doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and I would do that whether or not I would, and I can say this with certainty, I would literally do it if anybody heard it or not.
Same.
You know, and that's called karma yoga.
Well, I think that in this life, if you aren't doing something out of the love for it, especially when it comes to art, I totally understand having a job and having to make ends meet, doing something that you don't enjoy.
Come on, man. We know that just as well as anybody else.
Absolutely. However, I never want that to cross over into my artistic life because when I was a kid, when I was 13 and learning to do vocals, I never ever thought of the possibility of being able to make money off of doing this. What we do is so niche. It's the shows I was going to, a packed house is 200 or 300 people, and that's still the case.
Yeah.
I mean, with social distancing, I don't know what a packed house would be at a small bar, but anyway, regardless.
That's okay. That's okay with me. Like, I mean, if we could go and draw 200 to 300 people a night, I mean, that'd be amazing.
That'd be amazing. But you know what? We've played shows in our band in front of very little amounts of people, and I've had just as much fun, if not more fun, at those shows.
That's the thing. Why do all these big bands? I mean, just look at the facts. Why do these huge bands want to go play like a secret show at a small bar?
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
No one's playing a secret fucking headliner festival in front of 75,000 people.
Exactly. Like, I think sometimes people don't think about these things that are just innately true.
Yeah.
That type of thing. Or you watch freaking like VH1 Behind the Music.
Mm-hmm.
When does the career go down the tubes? When they're at the height.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because they realized they had all this desire that was so great. They got there. Oh, there's nothing here at the end of the rainbow. There's no pot of gold.
Because doing all of this stuff doesn't make you happy. And there's this common misconception that if I do this, I'll be happy. If I get here, I'll be happy. If I'm headlining the Wiltern in LA, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
The Regency Ballroom, that's happiness.
Exactly.
But the reality is that your happiness exists externally of all of these accomplishments in life. That's not happiness. Getting to one point isn't going to make you happy.
Yeah, it doesn't mean, and that could sound like, oh, well, then I just won't do anything. No, that's not what it means. It means do those things that feel comfortable to you, and that are in your nature to do.
Absolutely.
But don't expect the world from it. It's not going to come from there, right?
It's not. And the only thing that you really have control over is making the stuff, doing the thing.
Exactly.
You have a quote, right, about this. It's all in the work. When you put things out into the world, you have no control over where it's going to get you. If you finish a painting, you can post it on the internet, and whether it gets 100 likes or 0 likes shouldn't matter to you. Yeah. What should matter to you
it kind of does, though. I mean, I get it. I get that.
Absolutely.
Like, you get that little.
I totally get it.
But that's the thing. It's like you should start examining, right? That's what I've been trying to do. Examine every little thing, right? You get all those extra likes or whatever. It's like, okay, well, why? Because there's some little reaction in your brain that's going off, and it's connected to, oh, these people like me now or whatever. But that's a little temporary thing that comes and goes.
Absolutely.
And that's it. It's not. I look at it like this. Dessert, right? We all know that dessert is like, I'm not going to try to live my life and and grow a healthy body by eating ice cream and whipped cream on it, right?
Even though I'd like to.
Exactly. So
every day.
I realize full and well when I get a dessert, this is really good. But in the back of my mind, I'm going, well, this is I know it's a little bit bad for me. I know that this isn't all there is. This isn't like perfection of happiness here, but I'm going to enjoy this little dessert while it's here.
It's a quick fix.
When it goes, it's gone. I'm off. I'm back to whatever, something more healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same way, you can view that as, oh, I got some likes or whatever. I'm not going to be adverse to that. I'm not going to say, I don't want anybody to like me. It's not like that, right? You don't want to go the other way, because now you're putting energy into the negative. But it's like, oh, wow, look at that. I got a bunch of, that's awesome. That feels really good. Move on. That's not sustenance. That's just a little moment in time that happens, similar to like a little Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Amen, brother.
Boom.
Cheers. We're back, baby.
There it is.
Joe Rogan announced that he was going to Spotify, so we had to come to YouTube and claim the throne.
Yeah, there's he told us it was cool.
Reclaim.
He actually called us up and said it was cool.
You guys can take over.
Another reason why we had to keep going was because we do have mugs.
And we have this sign.
Yeah. And with that being said, grab a mug online for, how much are they?
After all this talk about not wanting to sell ourselves, we actually want money.
Make sure you subscribe.
Hit like.
Show it to your friend.
And comment, because we're checking all of them. And we base our self-worth off of whether or not you comment.
So, Chaney, what have you been up to during this? I know people like to always ask me, like, You know, I hope you're okay during all this chaos, you know, and all this stuff. But for me, my life, I mean, it's not that much different, really. I mean, it's not like you and I were, you know, going out every night and doing all this stuff. Like, we're fortunate enough. I do recognize that you and I are fortunate in that I had a month off.
Yeah, I
had 1 month off. Were we doing the podcast at that time?
No.
Okay, so I did have a month off.
Oh, maybe we were. Maybe that's why maybe that is why we started doing the podcast so much.
Okay.
Which was another killer in the podcast. I mean, it didn't kill it. Obviously, we're coming back like a zombie.
That's sort of another thing I was wanting to say.
Yeah.
Is that I think that I was involving myself in way too much stuff.
I totally agree.
You know, I think I'm the type of person that I'm enthusiastic about hobbies, right?
You could say that. That's the least you could say about your love for hobbies.
It's not good. It's bad.
It's cost us thousands and thousands of dollars.
I'm trying to curb all that. Yeah.
Luckily, most of your hobbies, like when you got super obsessed with your Iraq synths, you could just resell those.
I was able to sell. I mean, I wanted to keep that stuff, but we were doing the Dave Ramsey thing.
You
so
probably
I had to sell
spent
everything.
like $10,000 on synths.
It was a lot.
That's what happens, you know, I guess when you're in your 30s and you can kind of play around. No kids. Yeah.
Obviously. People with kids are like, these guys suck.
Probably.
No one with kids.
You know, and honestly, if you have kids, I have no frame of reference.
Yeah, like
for
Corona,
what it's like
that's
to have
another
a
thing.
kid.
So we're a couple who has work still and no kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going, yeah, my life's fucking fine.
And we're really introverted. Like, we may seem crazy, but Navene and I love to hang out at home. Not that we don't hang out with people, but we have a lot of toys and stuff that we fuck with at our house. I mean,
and a kitten now.
And now we have a kitten, which we just added to the family.
So I've been hanging out with her a lot. I love her.
Yeah. And
I can see your hands
you can see my hands.
Yeah, it looks kind of cool.
Well, because, you know, I like to do my emoting.
We're on like an 18-inch table.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed that we got... Okay, so when the podcast hadn't been happening for a few months...
Oh, yeah, we tore it down.
We tore it down. We moved Navene's studio into this room, which is technically the master bedroom of the house. And my office, which used to be the podcast room, is in a different
it used to be the studio.
Well, my office used to be this room.
Oh, yeah.
Which was the podcast room. My stuff moved into Navene's studio because we moved up in the world and we sent all the Entheos merch over to Night Shift. And now, I don't ship shit.
Right.
Which
so now that you're not going to get that personalized
just to make it clear, it wasn't because we couldn't have done that before it. Like, I actively chose to send out our merch because... It seemed like it would save us money to have me shipping out the merch, but...
I thought we were supposed to do everything because we just love doing it. What's this now?
I mean, I did not love doing merch.
I mean, if you...
I loved being in contact with people who are into our band, and I loved sending notes and like being able to connect with them. Yeah. But it really became...
Okay, idea.
It became too big of a job for me.
Idea.
So we sent it to Night Shift to go buy some of our merch.
Send Kareem a stack of handwritten notes, dude.
Dang. Dear, so this is what it'll say. Dear underline. So he can just Hey bro.
Dude.
Yo man.
Oh no, I got an idea.
Love
Let's
Chaney.
do dear
valued customer.
No, dear letter. And you just do one for every letter in the alphabet. So when it's Billy, he just goes, Dear B, period. What do you think?
B?
Just put B. Like, okay, Dear B, thanks, homie, for buying this stuff, supporting, dude. We're out here keeping it real.
That's what it should say. Thanks, homie, for buying stuff, supporting, dude. We're out here keeping it real. California.
Yeah. So but you put the letter, and then you have one for everyone.
Yeah, I get it.
So he can just shoot.
I got it.
Okay, you got it.
Already got it.
Just not that good of an idea.
A few minutes ago. Not that good of an idea. But what I will say is you guys should really check out Night Shift. Like,
yeah, great.
I'm just throwing in a promo here. Kareem started a merch store. He used to be Black Dahlia Murders merch guy, tour manager. I think we're on maybe it was one of his last tours. I don't know.
I think he came out of tour retirement to do that.
Do that Black Dahlia Murder tour that we did a few years ago. And that's how
right.
I personally met Cream. And when he started a merch store, I was like, we got to do merch with this dude because everything he puts out for all of his bands. Yeah. And he just knows a lot about merch. He's a fucking pro. He wants to put out cool, unique shit, and he's on the hunt for it. And I thought that was awesome. So when Kareem started a merch store, I was like, time to switch it over.
Switch it up.
So go to night shift at the end of the day. That's really what you should do.
So that's what we're really trying to say. Buy some shit.
Buy. Consume.
Consume.
Give us money.
But so wait, what I was gonna say is I was doing way too much stuff. Sorry, trying to keep it clean here.
Yeah, we were putting out a couple podcasts a week. We were doing it on Zoom, which is a super impersonal.
Were we doing Zoom? Oh, with the interviews.
We were doing Zoom with the interviews, which, you know what? When we do interviews in the future, maybe
we keep it in person. We got
to do them in person.
Yeah, our rule was we're going to do it in person.
And now it's a new rule. I was turning people down for our podcast because of the rule. The golden fucking rule.
And it was way better that way.
It was much better.
We're not going to have that many guests because not that many people can come to Santa Cruz, but
especially when touring is not an option.
But I just had, it was so much more of a chill. Like I didn't have a bad time, and I'm not trying to say that I had a bad time interviewing people on Zoom, but I mean, you just have to admit that it's a little different.
Dude, you're talking to a screen, and it's you and I talking to a screen where we're normally like looking at each other and hanging out. Yeah. And like,
and you're like, you guys are passing
paraphernalia.
The incense.
The tobacco pipe.
That's worse than weed, though.
I know. God. I mean, smoking is... here's the thing about smoking. One time when I was a kid, my parents left for the night. I was old enough to stay at home by myself, okay? My parents used to smoke when I was a kid.
I know. This is one of Chaney's greatest hits stories.
They stopped. So I cooked myself dinner. And what does a 12-year-old know to cook themselves for dinner? Scrambled eggs. So that's
a weird one to do.
Why? It's so easy.
Like,
you make it in a pan.
For me, it would have been SpaghettiOs. Like I'm going to open a can of SpaghettiOs and just...
But I was trying to be a chef.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to be a chef. So then I like made my scrambled eggs and I ate them and they were good. And I smoked like a pack of cigarettes. I didn't know.
Wait, how old were you?
12.
Wow.
I smoked
Just went in.
Yeah. Sorry, Mom. I smoked a pack.
She's going to hear this. Chaney classic.
I mean, it must have been a pack. I might be exaggerating.
1.
It wasn't 1.
2.
It was I got nicotine poisoning and I puked up all my scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
And that taste has never left my mouth. It's similar to the story I have about seeing my friend eat a McFlurry.
I was going to say another one of Chaney's greatest hits.
Why do all of my greatest hits revolve around like puking and gagging?
I don't know, but there's the McFlurry one.
All right, here's the McFlurry one. Okay, I was in like 3rd grade, right? I stayed the night at my friend's house.
Okay, what'd you guys do?
We got McFlurries.
Oh, how was it?
Okay, we were eating McFlurries outside of the apartment building that this friend lived in.
Yeah.
And this person got McFlurry on their lip. Mm-hmm. Like had McFlurry on their lip and didn't notice it. And I was like, it made me gag. And
just like seeing that little bit of McFlurry.
Dude. Oh, that's disgusting. Lip flurry.
I don't know if I've ever had one of those.
Lip flurry.
No, I've just never had a McFlurry.
That's what I saw. Dude, I know you haven't seen a lip flurry. So
I've seen similar stuff.
This McFlurry on this person's lip sent me into a rage. I mean, I wasn't mad, but I was just internally throwing up. And I didn't eat another McFlurry until I was in my late 20s.
That's good.
Which is the age.
You've had
which is the age I am now.
Yeah, right.
The other day, I was
It's gonna be your birthday soon. The
I know.
audience doesn't know that.
This will come out on my birthday, actually, because it'll come out on, not this one, but the following episode will come out on my birthday.
Yeah.
But the other day I was at a client's house, and because I, shoot pictures of real estate, and it was an elderly man, and he was telling me about the property, and he brought up, oh yeah, I built all the properties in this village, and I built them in 1989, way long before you were born.
And you were like, ha, yeah.
I was like, yeah, dude.
Totally.
Right.
Well, to him, you probably look like you're 15.
I know.
Yeah.
Once you hit 90 plus.
I remember when I was like
tell.
mid-20s and I saw like high school kids. I was like, dang, they look like little babies.
Now I see them and I'm like, how, as a high school kid, did I ever think that I looked like an adult? Because
I'm good. All right.
Look at these children.
Yeah, they're just so little and
dude,
youthful.
What's weird is I don't see them around as often because they're all at home.
Oh, yeah.
School is like not in session at the actual school.
Wow. I haven't really thought of that.
I did because this is the time of year where you see like the school down the street from our house, which I will not disclose the name of, is
Santa Cruz High.
You usually see people lined up to pick up their kids, and the other day it occurred to me that there's no one there. Yeah. But the teachers were parked there.
Or they have to pretend that they're going to school. Oh, they probably do Zoom
from the classroom is what I was assuming.
So many people are going, oh my God, these guys are stupid.
Right well, we don't have kids, so we don't pay attention.
Yeah. Just the fur baby.
We just have a fur baby, and I'm surprised she's not in here right now because she's really annoying and really, in a loving
I wish
way.
she was in here. I'd hold her up. One of these days, they'll get lucky enough to see her.
Shiva. Maybe she'll come. But yeah, so we decided to bring the podcast back, and I'm really stoked.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen podcast personality Chaney Crabb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same with you.
It's not like you're different, but it's
it's like talking into a microphone.
Yeah, did you miss me?
Yeah,
nice.
I did. Did you miss me?
Yeah.
Did you guys miss us? Hit that like and subscribe button if you did.
Hit like, hit subscribe. We got mugs here. We got what else? I don't know.
Well, so I wanted to ask you, what have you been up to? Wait, what did I say I'd been up to? Hold on.
Don't know.
Back to me.
You might have just not answered.
Back to me. So I've been writing music.
Nice.
For myself, with other people, with you. There's a lot of music going on. That's one thing that did happen during this whole quarantine is that every person and their brother decided to want to make music together.
This is true.
So you have obviously been playing with a lot of people. You just
sort of. I mean, it could seem that way from afar.
I know, right?
In reality, it's
like a week of your life.
Yeah, yeah.
Not very much.
Totally.
So playing music, working, my job never stopped because the medical field can't stop, won't stop.
That's right. People always need that medical assistance.
Yeah.
And Chaney is a neurosurgeon. So
went to school for 15 years, was it?
That's all it takes.
So doing that, reading.
Reading? What have you been reading?
I've been reading a book about Buddhism, and I've also been reading Stephen King's On Writing. I was reading before that I finished a book by a psychologist that, God, I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but
dude, that happens to me every time. If I'm in an interview, hey, what's your name? It's like,
I can't remember. What is it?
It sucks.
Yeah.
It's so horrible.
So I can't remember the name of the book, but it's about a psychologist who started going to therapy and just like the process of therapy. Stephen King's On Writing, though, is amazing, and I highly recommend that. If any of you out there are writers, check out that book because it's great for writers. I've been listening to a lot of music and collecting a lot of vinyl and spending money on that.
We have been listening to vinyl, which is fun. I love doing that.
I love it, but I was thinking at the end of the year, my Spotify annual list isn't going to be right.
Damn.
So I was hoping that like we could come out with, not we, but someone would come out with like a
really good album real quick. And you can just listen to it a bunch of times.
No, a vinyl. Like a dude.
You know what I mean though?
Please God, someone come
out with something really good and you just listen to it a bunch of times. You're like, yeah, that's right.
That's all I listen to.
Jamming that.
Parasitic Josh. That's what I've been listening to a lot.
Parasitic Josh?
I'm just fucking around. But
that's what happened to me last year. Like I was listening to this like ultra dubstep dude, but it was just because I was working out a lot. And so like every day at the gym I would like just throw that on and just go for it. But it's like it was like, you listen to this, sudden death the most this
sudden
year.
death, yeah.
And I was kind of like, I'm not going to share
Isn't that true?
I'm like, yeah, but it was like just because I was at the gym. That doesn't count.
My list was very odd. It was naming bands that I had never listened to, I swear to God.
Yeah.
Or the universe,
it's
whatever
random.
you believe it.
Super random.
But anyway, I was hoping that someone would come out with an app that I can like just set my phone on my record player and then it just reads it and tells me like all the Spotify
You
stats.
just screwed up, dude. You just gave out $1 million idea.
I don't care though. Should we just make it before this episode comes out?
Freaking good idea.
Do we know any? We know app creators.
It's like untapped. I bet you it already exists because come on, it has to. But it's like untapped for vinyl.
Exactly. Like Untapped is the beer drinking, which by the way, we're drinking beer in our mugs and not coffee.
I don't drink beer.
You're right.
I'm totally pure.
We're actually drinking beer from Coralitus.
It doesn't count if it's like local.
That's true. It doesn't count. It's like
Coralitus Brewing is the best. There, I said it.
Dude, it's the best brewery. Come on.
Good. You get for California, you get a huge beer and for like $7.
Yeah.
And they don't do that dumb brewery thing where it's like, oh, this one comes in a 4-ounce glass. It's like they're all these
good amount.
Big hefty beers, even if it's like a 9%.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're talking you can go there, get one beer and
you're good.
That's it.
And the brewery is like in the middle of what are they? Fruit fields, vegetable fields in Coralitos. Yeah. So
Coralitus is for those who...
Is it Coralitus or Coralitos? How would you pronounce that?
I call it Coralitus.
I mean, if we want to pronounce it in Espanol, which is the word that it is, it's I can't roll my fucking R's. God.
But I don't know. Everyone here calls it Coralitus.
Dude, like I'm taking a roll down to Coralitus, bro. That's how they say it. Like, let's not fuck around and say they say Coralitus. It's like, dude, me and Randy are like rolling down to Coralitus, bro.
Yeah.
So then we're going to like hit the ocean.
I recommend going there. If you visit Santa Cruz, I don't think you'd think to go there because it's a little bit far away, which we rode our electric scooters there one day.
Which is another thing we've been doing.
We did get
we did it when we got them.
Scooters for a couple days.
Yeah. Also, if you go to Coralitus, you have to go to the Coralitus market. And if you eat meat...
Which you shouldn't do that, but...
then you should get the Coralitus sausages because they're like world renowned.
Yeah,
they're award winning. Honestly, come on a vacation to Santa Cruz. Maybe that's where our money lies, Navene, is that we're tour guides for Santa Cruz, California.
I'm so not opposed to that, dude.
That would be so fun.
If anybody wants to go on a trip right now,
come out here, hit up your friends. Seriously, if one of you comes to Santa Cruz, get a hold of us.
Sweepstakes.
We will hang out. There's no sweepstakes. We're gonna hang out. But
people have that kid, our buddy Nicholas from Germany.
Oh yeah.
He just randomly hit us up, and we're friends with them now.
Yeah, no, we were in Florida visiting.
Yeah, I just posted.
And our friend Nick.
A funny post. Hey, we're in Miami. We're about to have some fun.
And he was like,
this kid was like, hey, it's a long shot, but can we hang? Can I hang with you guys? And we're like, yeah.
And he was with his girlfriend Sandy.
Yeah,
and
great.
We hung out. I believe they're like married now or engaged. Because we got to hang out with him a few years later, which was it was in 2018 in Germany. And okay, we met the coolest guy. I think we've talked about this before on the podcast. But anyway, we're skipping around in the story. So
wait, where were we?
We were at, Nicholas was visiting from Germany. He was visiting Miami, and we happened to be in Miami at the same time because your grandparents live in Fort Lauderdale. So Nicholas hit us up and was like, long shot, let's hang out.
Like, yeah,
so we went to a bar in Miami with Nicholas, and we got absolutely obliterated. Like it was one of probably the top.
No, it's the worst hangover that
top
that I've
three
ever had in
most
my whole life.
hangovers.
It's the number one.
Oh my God, it was the worst hangover of your life, and we met with one of our managers.
Yeah, I
the next day.
I actually started crying.
Well, we had rented a car.
I'm not condoning any of this.
We had rented a car and we drove down to Miami by ourselves, and we were going to meet one of our managers of our band the next day, going to dinner with him. And you were so hungover from us meeting up with Nicholas that instead of going to dinner with our manager, you slept in the car. And I just went to dinner by myself.
I know, but I did go in
to vomit.
I know, I went in. We might have already told this story, but I'll just tell it again. I went in and I was wearing a tank top, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just be able to hold it together. Because it was a nice restaurant.
It was really nice. Houston's. I'll never forget that.
And they were like, oh, you can't wear a tank top in here. And I was like, all right, well, that's all I got. You know, I'm in Miami. Give me a break. And then they're like, here you go. They gave me a black shirt.
Yeah.
And then, so I put the black shirt on and went to sit down. And I'm like, hey, how's it going, Cliff? Blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, I ordered the veggie burger.
Yep.
With some I remember that thing, like, and I was just like, I got to get out of here, man. You know, good seeing you. And I went and laid down in the car.
Yeah.
And then we went back to my aunt's. And then that night, it was like, you had grabbed the veggie burger for me.
Yeah.
So it was one of the best veggie burgers I've
dude,
ever
Houston's
had in my life.
Is what's up. I think it's a chain, maybe in Florida, but fuck, dude, that place is so good.
You know where else has the best veggie burger? Is that place in where we opened our Planet Fitness memberships. Cincinnati?
Oh, dude, Cincinnati at a Foundry Club.
Foundry, dude, they have like
Foundry Club.
Unbelievable black bean burger. I mean, so good.
Foundry Club, there's a kid named Leo, and he's the sound guy at Foundry Club, and he posts like a ton of sick show footage. He posts a ton of it, and a week ago he put on like a virtual fest, and I think it was us, Shadow of Intent, a Legion,
nice,
a few other bands. So you guys should really check that out. Foundry Club is a really, really sick venue, and they serve the sickest veggie burgers.
Super sick. I remember I was like, that time we were being vegan, you and me, and they make like burgers for each band.
Yeah.
And I remember I was bummed because ours wasn't vegan.
I know, ours wasn't.
It was like the Entheos burger, like double bacon ham. I was like, God.
I remember that, yeah. I remember the first time we played there, I got too drunk to eat my burger.
You did what I did. Except for me and Evan, 8 years.
Oh, you and Evan ate mine? Yeah. Well, I remember distinctly after that show. God, this is such an embarrassing band thing. But you were like, I was so drunk that I puked that night.
And I'm always on puke patrol, obviously.
And Navene was in the back seat with me, which is my seat in the van. And you were holding like a trash container.
I know
for
when
me.
that's going to happen.
And Evan was like, you are so lucky that your boyfriend's in this band.
Yeah, I know, right? I know when that's going down.
I was also really sad about my cat. My cat, Iggy. I know this sounds crazy. My cat, Iggy, had just disappeared, and we had left to be on this tour. And I was like distraught over it. I'd had him for a while. He moved from Des Moines to California with me.
Yeah, he lived in LA with us.
He lived in LA, and then we drove him in our van from LA to Santa Cruz, and he just sat by me the whole time. And he was like my buddy. Yeah. You know, my best buddy. And I think fireworks scared him away. We went up to the city.
Yeah.
Because Leo was in town. So we went to the city and hung out at Leo's house. And over that weekend, it was the 4th of July, and Iggy disappeared at some point over that weekend, never to be seen again. But I was really distraught over that. So it was like a part of my, my depression over my cat. But the show's up online if you guys want to see it.
It was a good show.
It was a good show. Every show we've played there has been fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good time. But, I mean, shows. Remember those? I don't... do you miss shows a whole lot? Are you like...
Do you want me to be honest?
Oh, God. Yeah. That'd be cool. I mean, we're trying to be honest here.
Or do you want me to lie?
I want you to lie.
Here's the thing. I love playing shows.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Touring comes with a lot of things that do not involve playing shows whatsoever.
Mostly not playing shows.
And, we didn't even talk about this. Okay, so we had 2 months of touring planned and then...
and a wedding, by the way.
And a wedding. That's what I was going to bring up. That 2 weeks after that touring was over, we were going to get married. So we were... Oh, you just turned me off. Damn it.
Screwing with mine. Go ahead.
So we were going to go on 2 months of touring, and I was going to have to simultaneously be planning our wedding. And although it sounded crazy and tedious to me, because the last month we were going to be in Canada.
That was a bad idea, though. To do that
2 months in a row.
Straight into wedding. I mean, come on.
Straight into wedding.
Crazy. Yeah.
So we were going to do that. So I hate to say this, but when this happened, I was a little relieved.
Yeah.
I was a little relieved because we, right before this all happened, we put forth that we were the only studio recording members of our band.
Yeah.
So we were going to go on tour with 2 awesome dudes, a great merch person, but we had guaranteed all of them pay. And you and I had no idea how much money we would come home with, because for us, it was a gamble, because that's what happens when you're in charge of a band. If you're hiring on touring musicians, you have to give them money, give them compensation. So,
and then on top of that, going straight into a wedding.
And then on top of that, going straight into a wedding that wasn't a cheap wedding.
So we're not married still.
We're not married.
Haven't done it.
Damn it. I mean, we've been together for so long that it's
common law.
I think we're common law. I don't know. He's busting out the soundboard, but but dude, it was a little bit of a relief for all of this to happen.
Yeah.
Do I miss touring? Back to the main point. I miss playing shows a lot. I love playing shows. I'm sure we'll get back to it at some point. But honestly, it was nice to have a year of... I have severe FOMO.
Yeah.
So when I see other people on tour, I'm like, fuck, I want to be on tour so bad. But not seeing anyone else on tour, I'm kind of chilling.
You're just like, all right, well, everything's
but also,
nothing to miss here.
I do miss playing shows for sure, and I miss traveling and seeing friends. But it's interesting to know that everyone else on Earth is kind of in the same spot, and that's that's really the only time I've felt like this in my life.
Sorry, my computer's
I thought you were looking at some blob on me or something.
No, I think we're draining the battery faster than it can charge, but it's okay. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
All right. Well, if the podcast cuts off, then it's whatever.
Yeah.
But so do you miss playing shows? We haven't played a show in over a year.
I don't know. I mean, I can't honestly say that I've spent any time thinking about it.
Same. That's pretty much where I'm at as well.
I guess I'll see a video or something, and I'll be like, oh, that was pretty cool when we used to play shows. But, I mean, I always like it when I'm doing it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here complaining or anything, but I'm not. I don't know. My life has become sort of equalized.
Hey, can you re-up me?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. So by that, do you mean that?
I mean, it's not like when we go on tour, you come with me,
right?
And that was a huge thing when we had to be separated on tour and stuff. And you're like, oh, my life's going on at home without me. And it's like, I don't know. We go on tour together, and it's like everything feels sort of normal to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
When I'm on tour, when I'm not on tour, it's kind of
the same, because it
doesn't feel like there's a whole lot to miss, I guess is what I'm saying.
It's true, because we leave together, we come back together.
Yeah. It's cool. I mean, I would do it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We
it
will
seems
do
like
it
the most
again.
horrifying thing I could possibly think of, to be honest.
That's a good one.
Let me try that one.
That's a fucking good one. That's 9%. West Coast double IPA, y'all. Lupulin. Have we had this at the brewery?
Which brewery? Oh,
it's coralitus.
Oh, it is coralitos.
Coralitos.
There you go.
You know, today I drove to Coralitos, and in the little main part where that coffee shop is, and you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like
it's like a 5 mile something.
There was like a churro shop, a taco truck, and it was popping.
It was going on?
Yeah, I think
Nice.
that weekdays might actually be when Coralitos is popping.
I freaking love coralitus, man.
Dude.
I would live there.
We drove our scooters all the way there, and it's like 10 miles.
Dude, it's really far.
It's 10 to 15 miles.
When I tell people, like, yeah, because we'll be riding around on our scooters and be like, oh, what's up with those scooters, man? How far? I was like, we went to Coralitus and back with these things, bro. And they're like, damn.
Yeah, that's like the measurement for it being sick.
But when we got there, the brewery was closed.
Fucking closed because we just did not call beforehand.
It's
We're like,
of course it's
surely.
open. Let's go.
You know, the thing that I miss the most from this whole pandemic situation is the sauna at the gym.
Yeah, I haven't seen a gym in a long time.
I actually went because side note, I saw a bunch of cars there yesterday, so I think they're reopening.
Okay.
But
I won't be going.
I went right when there was a small period when the gym could reopen and you had to wear a mask in there and everyone was wearing a mask.
I'm just not doing that.
It
dude.
was fucking hard to breathe, man. You know what was disgusting? I was sweating into my mask.
It's disgusting.
So everything I was
Sucks.
breathing in and sucking into my mouth when I was breathing out of my mouth was my fucking spit.
No thanks,
it was
dude.
disgusting.
Yeah, I have to wear a mask all
smelled
day at
awful.
work. That's bad enough.
I don't have to wear a mask at work.
So I won't be going to the gym if you have to wear a mask.
Yeah. I think it's better to not go to the gym if you have to wear a mask. It's just not that I won't wear a mask. I do wear a mask everywhere that I go. At the gym, it makes everything a little harder. And we have a gym in our backyard. I'm
true,
just
which
trying
I
to
never
talk
use.
Navene into buying me a sauna.
Yeah, I was looking at them. Not gonna lie, but the price too expensive.
It's like $4,000. I mean, I think it's
For a
worth
good
it.
one.
I think it's worth it for $4,000.
What did I tell you to do? Go in the car and roll the windows up.
Yeah. You told me to go in the car and roll the windows up in the
There you
sun.
go. It's a sauna.
Dude.
Same thing.
No, it's not. There's no ventilation.
All right, what if we just made a box of glass out back?
Build me one. I would like a hot tub.
Yeah, hot tub seems pretty. I don't know. It's just. I think I need to get rid of stuff before I get any new stuff.
You know what all of it
Straight up.
sounds like to me also is cha-ching, cha-ching,
I know.
cha-ching,
And then
cha-ching.
It's just another thing that you got to like deal with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maintenance.
Like the kitten. It's like she's great, but now it's like, she wants to be fed all the time.
She meows a lot.
She wants to be held. She wants to.
She meows to be held.
Yeah. I'm her favorite, so she's always.
Okay, the other day we did a test. We were in bed and we did a test and we put her in the middle and we said, Shiva, go to who your favorite owner is. Navene had just taken her off of his lap.
That's the thing about her.
So I think that she was just going right back to Navene because that's where she was used to sitting.
The thing is, if she's sitting somewhere and you take her and move her, she'll like go back in a cute way to where she was. Also, I don't really like animals that much. Like, I love animals.
Yeah,
I'm
right,
vegetarian
dude.
and stuff, but like.
Okay, so Navene was away. You were tracking Job for a Cowboy, the rec or whatever you were doing. I don't know. So you were doing that, and Navene's mom had just gotten a kitten. She attracts cats. That woman.
Someone,
I don't know what happens.
Someone sort of was like manhandling this cute little kitten in a parking lot of a grocery store
and said to your mom, "Don't you want this?"
And my mom was like, "Oh my god, like I gotta rescue this kitten."
Your mom is.
And my
I
mom,
think your
on the
mom
other
might
hand,
be the most empathetic person I've ever met.
Yeah, my mom on the other hand, she can't even bear like a bee getting stepped on.
No.
I mean, that would like devastate her.
I mean, she'll probably listen to this, but just for example, we lived with her for 7 years, and there was a bee like infestation
Dude, it was
of
sick.
the house, and bees were coming in through the kitchen sink. And
To be
meanwhile,
fair, I don't think she realized what that
oh
really
no.
was.
This is to no fault of
Because
hers.
it kind of seemed like, oh, there's a bunch of bees in that bush over there.
Right.
But it's like, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, she did not. None of us realized how crazy the situation was because the bees had built a hive inside of the house. So we thought, okay, there are occasionally bees coming in through the sink and there were bees like flying around the yard, but it wasn't that big of a deal. So it took her a while to get the bees eradicated because she's so empathetic. She didn't want to kill them. So she brought in a beekeeper.
Also from a practical reason, you know, we do need bees.
We need bees. We need bees.
Bees are disappearing, which is not good.
Yeah, no. It's completely for a reason. Yeah. And she wanted a beekeeper to come in and take the bees.
But she basically resupplied the whole, she ended that shortage of bees in California.
The United States.
So they tore open this wall that was behind a sage bush.
Yeah.
And dude, it was like,
I would say like 10,000 bees.
I think it was more than that.
It was insane.
I think it was like 100,000.
Insane.
And of course, the guy's like, "Get out of here, dude! You're gonna get stung." And I was like, no, I want to check this out." And dude, of course, one of them ran up to me, stung me. I'm like allergic to bees.
Yeah.
My freaking eye was like this, dude. Like,
I think there's a picture up online of this.
Yeah, there is. If you scroll way back on my Instagram, you'll see your boy with it was like I couldn't see for days.
Yeah, no, it was really fucked up.
And having one eye is like, I feel for people that now. Because it's weird. You can't, there's no depth perception.
Yeah, no depth perception.
Real weird.
But so that's just an example of how empathetic she was. So obviously she is. So obviously she's going to take this kitten. So your mom had the kitten for a few days. We have a cat named Cashew who we left with Navene's mom.
Because cats sort of pick their owner.
And
you know what I mean?
He picked the fuck out of your mom. Like we toured a lot and we would leave. She lives in the main house. We lived out in the back. Cashew just loves Navene's mom. And I think
he weighs 800 pounds.
He weighs 800 pounds. And I think that she might love him too. So he picked his owner and we didn't really want to take him from the property. And
the thing is, where my mom lives is like cat heaven. It's like there's a place to roam. There's a couple other cats that convene back there.
Yeah, and he's very much an outdoor cat. Like he chose that.
When he was a little kitten, he jolted out the door. It was like, that's it. I'm out here. Don't try to stop me, man.
And he would get himself stuck in trees and on posts, and I could hear him meowing from inside of our house, and I had to go save him a lot. So he chose to live there. But anyway, right when she had gotten the kitten, Cashew had some crazy... it was just a cut in his mouth, but she had me come over because he was like drooling out of his mouth and it appeared that something was really wrong. He was like, he was sticking his tongue out of his mouth, but below his chin was like all wet from saliva. And we discovered it was just a cut on his tongue. But while she was helping him get better, she wanted me to take the cat, and Navene was off tracking drums. So I took the cat. She wanted me to take her for a week, and I became incredibly bonded to the cat. And I think that the feeling is mutual because she loves us. But so Navene didn't want the cat, and the whole time you were gone, you were making fun of me, almost like, oh, you love the cat. Oh, you love her. Because I would send you pictures of her and like videos of her, and you'd be like, oh, you love her so much.
She's great. You know what
and then you got back, and now you're more in love with the cat than I am.
Yeah, because I love her.
I had
some time off of work. I took a week off because just wanted a week off to not work. And so I just hung out with the kitten a lot. And
yeah.
She's pretty cool.
So
she's cute. There's a Navene classic hit story.
What's the classic?
Taking Maggie home.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not the most emotional guy. I probably already told this story. I'm going to tell it again. It's greatest hit. And someone who Chaney used to work for, but now we're friends with, and we watch her dog sometimes if she has to. She went to the hospital for, what was it, like a week or something?
It was like 2 weeks. Yeah. Yeah,
and we were watching her. She has got this like really cute little dog. I've posted a bunch of pictures of her. She's not our dog, by the way.
People have thought she was.
Of course. Sure. I mean, why would they think that? I post her all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm always kind of like, dogs. We grew up with cats and stuff, so I wasn't really a dog person. But I just like got so used to having her around. She's like the sweetest little dog. She's so nice, love her. And this is just funny because, like I said, I'm not like a super emotional guy, and I guess I'm either happy or angry. That's all you get, one of the two. And then we're taking Maggie back because it was time for her to go home, and I'm like driving the car home, and I turn to Chaney, and it's just a tear just coming down my face.
A singular
dude.
tear.
I'm really gonna miss her, man.
She's a great dog. She's really great.
So every once in a while we go take her to the beach or something like that.
But now we got this cat, and we're going to Portland, of all places in the world, to go. Yeah. Which is just, fires are...
We're going to go up there and do some reporting. You know, we're taking the podcast on the road. We're gonna do some reporting. Yeah. We're going to tell you guys what's going on out there.
No, we're going to Portland because Navene has to work up there. Some of our good friends live up there. So we're going to hang out. And, we are
going to try to do a podcast up there.
We are going to try to do a podcast up there. We would like to do one in the van because that's another thing. Navene finished the fucking van.
Oh, I don't know if it's ever going to really be finished.
Am I the only one who's dropped the F-bomb this entire episode?
I'm trying to keep it clean.
Yeah.
Clean podcast.
Before, I never brought this story up. Before the podcast ended the first time, okay?
Here's the real reason why we ended it.
No. I was on the phone with my grandmother. Her mom had just passed away, my great-grandmother. And I was on the phone to talk to her about my great-grandma. And after about 45 minutes of talking, my grandma brought up to me, I was listening to your podcast, Chaney, but you just say the F word so much that Navene, he doesn't say it as much. So it's just a little easier to listen to. And I was like, it made me start feeling really self-conscious about dropping the F-bomb.
Yeah.
Well,
all of those worked. But so, I was like, damn, grandma. Okay, you're right. My grandma all throughout my life has been that. She's like in the back of my mind.
Hard-hitting voice of reason.
Yeah, because she never liked when I said butt. You had to say bottom.
Yeah, bottom.
You can't say Jesus. You got to say
Jiminy Christmas. That's why I say Jiminy Christmas.
Jiminy Christmas. Yeah. The one word my grandmother does say, and this is how you knew she was pissed when I was a kid, is God damn it.
God damn it?
God
really?
damn it.
Wow.
I've seen her bust out God damn it, I think 3 times.
That's pretty hardcore. It's pretty hardcore in my opinion.
One time she was being pulled over by the police. My sister and I were spending the weekend with my grandma, and we were like, I don't know, 9. I was 9, so my sister must have been, 4. No, I was probably a little bit older than my sister. I don't know. We were just arguing, being kids.
Little kids.
And my grandma got pulled over by the police because she was paying attention to us, is what she says, but I think she was just speeding, which she does a lot. Look who's here. And she said, God damn it. Oh, she ran away.
Oh, damn it. Yeah.
See, she really loves being in this room, but she's really scared of acoustic guitar. So if Navene plays acoustic guitar in here, she's out.
Apparently not scared of drumming.
Not scared of drumming, really scared of acoustic guitar.
Because I got those evil riffs. Sorry, Phoenix, finish your story.
Sheaves, come here, baby. That was the story. My grandma just said, God damn it. So my grandma was like bummed that I dropped the F-bomb a lot.
Well, now she's bummed that you're out there saying that she's
bumming me out.
Saying GED.
Come here.
Well, everyone doesn't know this, but there's a really cute little kitten over there.
Yeah. If you're listening, you definitely don't know it. But yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that, except that I've been trying to drop the F-bomb less, and you haven't been swearing. I mean, I'm not going to stop swearing. Come on.
I'm trying to keep it clean, dude, over here.
I'm old.
Clean podcast.
Clean.
I probably swore, though. No, I said, I did swear.
The S word? The C word? The F word?
I
the
might
D
have
word?
said either the S word or the F word. But, I mean, if
no
you say stuff like Jiminy Christmas or like frick, it's kind of the same, because people know you should really, expand your vocabulary and think of a word to say that's.
That's what my grandma said.
But if you're because like what I'm saying is, you could keep it clean, right? And you're not, but you're still saying Jiminy Christmas and like.
Don't you feel like that's a little polished though? I do feel
Jiminy
like
Christmas is funny. I love saying that.
I do feel like I have the ability to speak my mind. I know a lot of words.
Yeah, I mean,
I took advanced placement English in high
watch
school.
out.
Watch out.
Well, I didn't go to school.
Know the dictionary. I was in a spelling bee. I was in a spelling bee. Okay.
Prove it. Let's go. Let's hear the dictionary.
Aardvark. Apple.
That's the first word.
I don't know. Aardvark, I think, is one of the first.
I actually got the Webster app. It's pretty cool.
Do you know what
I like
how I lost the spelling bee? Because I was in second place. I was in third grade.
What word did you get stumped on?
Squeak.
What?
Yeah, isn't this embarrassing? You know why? Comic books. Or no, this video game that I had been playing on Sega that was a comic book movie. Or a comic book game.
Sega Genesis?
Sega Genesis.
Damn,
back
Altered
in the day.
Beast.
So I spelled squeak SQUEEK. And that's how I lost the fucking spelling bee.
Cost you everything.
It cost me like
right there. Your life could have gone in a totally different
I feel
direction.
like that changed my entire life.
So you're like, well, I'm just gonna, you know what I'm gonna do instead of that? I'm gonna get into screaming vocals.
Losing the spelling bee and losing being like the student council when I was in third grade. I feel like both of those things like really sent me to metal.
It's the dark side.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's where it all went wrong.
Metal. I just always liked it. It was just as soon as I heard something that was kind of heavy, I was like, that's really cool. I like 311 or something.
Yeah, but how'd you get into metal? Who started taking you to shows? It was a guy at your dad's work, right?
Yeah, my dad had that veggie sausage company.
Mm-hmm. It was just sausage only.
Well, it was like technically, I don't know. You know how like veggie, it was like tofurkey. It all tastes the same.
Was it good or?
It was really good.
Hot or shot? No, we were talking about this with Nick.
Classic. It was
when
really
Nick
good.
Gautier came here.
Okay.
We were talking about veggie value.
They made everything. They made they had, you name it. They had the chicken slices, kind of like tofurkey.
Yeah.
And then they had these like sausage links, which tasted a lot like the tofurkey sausages.
Yeah. Not Beyond Meat. They weren't like Beyond Meat though.
No,
see, that's the thing.
This is like the late 90s.
If any of you out there are vegan or vegetarian, Beyond Meat Italian sausages are fucking up your life right now. Like it's going to make you go, what?
Yeah, they're amazing.
Go out and buy some. And we were just talking the other day about making some impossible meatballs. And I got to thinking about it. I think that'd be a really good idea.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But they had, so they had the chicken slices. They had the sausages, with a few different flavors.
What kinds are we talking?
They had Italian,
damn,
hot and spicy, and original.
I feel like with veggie meats, the stuff that is like masked, like Italian or hot and spicy, are the best. It
tasted, like I said, those tasted just like tofurkey. I think they actually got sued by tofurkey, to be honest with you.
Damn.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And then
oops, wrong button.
But the best thing that they had was the mayonnaise.
Ah.
Yeah. They had, it was called Gore Mayo.
Damn. Boy, do I wish we were getting that stuff for free.
You ready for this? Chipotle mayonnaise.
What year was this?
Late 90s.
Damn.
Dude, way ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Like Chipotle,
this is one of your
stories.
stories. This is one of Navene's.
This is a classic. What's Chipotle? I've never heard of this thing. What is it?
It's 99. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, I used to work there in the factory, dude, in the summer.
Child labor laws.
Child labor, dude. I got paid $3 an hour, dude.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. It probably wasn't worth it.
You know what? When I worked at my first job and I was 14 and this was legal, unlike your first job, which was child slavery.
This is my dad trying to hook me up with a little bit of work, dude.
Yeah, dude. Okay. That's how children's rights.
Dude, it was so I worked all week so I could buy like a cymbal stand. I remember being like,
yeah,
I got $100. I'm going to Guitar Center, dude.
I've been talking, like, we were just talking about this with our kids. I think I want to make them work.
With our kids. We have kids
Our
now?
future kids. Shiva, the cat. It's time to get a job.
My mom named her Shiva, but we don't know if it's really going to stick.
It seems like it's stuck. It's been there for 3 weeks. I
just call her Baby.
We were messing around. I call her Bubby. We were messing around with other names.
We had Yoga.
Yoga was one.
Yog.
What was another one? I wish that we could come up with a name, a food name like Pringle.
Yeah, Pepper or something.
I had a dog named Pepper. Guitar.
Food names are always good. Cheddar.
Cashew is our other cat.
Oh, Cashmere. Cashmere.
No, I don't like it.
Really
Cashmere is a Led Zeppelin song.
Mira was another one.
Mira was another one. Shiva is the only one that's worked.
Should we call it Shiva? Why not?
She's got
a good name then. It's
that's the only one that's really worked for me so far. It's the only one that's jiving.
There you go.
So, you never told us what you've been doing.
Oh, speaking of Shiva.
Speaking of you, I'll be right back.
Don't go. I don't want to say this stuff by myself. All right. Well, I guess I've been reading a lot, which is weird because I think I've read more books in the last 5 months than I have in my whole life. That's definitely not an exaggeration. But my parents were in the Hare Krishna movement from 1975 to 85 when I was born. So I think I was kind of raised with a little bit of awareness of that. I mean, I would go to the temple and I had a lot of friends from that, but it was more, for me personally, more like a social thing. And I never really got into the philosophy or anything like that. So I started reading a bunch of books, just kind of start there. When I was working on the van, I was like listening to books on tape and just reading about that a lot. And then that sort of just spread out into all different sects of Hinduism, really. And that's pretty much what I do with a lot of my time now, which is honestly, for me to say that, it's kind of bizarre because I just never saw myself going in that direction. But it's been honestly life-changing. So I've Chaney's back with the kitty. But yeah, I read constantly. I'm into Vedic philosophy, and the Vedas are the oldest Hindu texts where all the thing about Hinduism is there's like a million branches of it. You know, it's not like I guess like Christianity or something like that, where there's kind of, how many branches of Christianity are there? Like
I
a
have
couple?
no idea.
I don't know.
No, there are way more than a couple because you've got like Methodist, Lutheran.
Yeah. But I mean, with like Hinduism, you have such polarity, like extremes within Hinduism. Like you've got certain sects that are like, they don't even believe in God. And then you've got certain sects that are like, all they do is worship God. Right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how far it goes with Christianity, but there are different, there are different ways to take the text. You can take it literally. You can take it, you can interpret only a few parts of it and take that and make it a thing. Yeah. You can take, you can just be a part of the Old Testament, the New Testament. There are a lot of ways to go.
I've actually, I was reading the other day about the Nag Hammadi. Have you heard of this?
No.
So I think it was in the late 1800s. So the reason why I saw this is because I'm really into Advaita Vedanta, which means like, we'll get into it in the future. But that's where I'm at right now with it all. And I was reading in the Reddit, the Advaita Vedanta. Someone had posted a quote from the Nag Hammadi, which is a Christian text.
Mm-hmm.
But it more, like the Advaita Vedanta thing, it more ascertains, it's not so much of God is the king and he did this and that. It's more, there is one awareness.
Yeah, okay.
There is a
Wait, are you talking about Advaita?
Yeah.
Advaita I thought you were talking about a kind of Christianity.
So hold on, I'm going to get that.
My bad.
So Advaita is like, there's one all-pervading consciousness,
right.
and it exists within everything.
Mm-hmm.
And all the material is an appearance to the consciousness, right?
Yeah.
That's the theme. It sounds crazy, but you get way into it, and it's mind-blowing. It's great. But I was in the Reddit about that, and someone had posted a quote from the Nag Hammadi, which is a Christian text that was somebody, just like some guy in Egypt, uncovered this like ancient scroll in a glass container that someone just buried.
No way.
I swear, dude.
A glass scroll?
Dude, I'm not kidding. I was reading about it and I was like, this is incredible. And it's basically like these. Adwaita means not two. It means just one, right? So this is sort of the equivalent to that for Christianity. And
which is fascinating.
It's a big, thick. They've made it into a book, and they've got a bunch of people got together and made commentaries on this thing. And I want to read that, man.
Well, which I think
that's just amazing to me.
I think that this is a part of what you should put forward, at least, is that what you're learning about is like the bigger picture of it all. Because the Advaita Vedanta, it covers all, like it doesn't encompass all religions, but it looks to all religions for reference.
It basically says, I mean, it's like this: is one religion right?
It's also not a religion.
Yeah, it's not a religion.
Let's say
it's
that.
It's not a religion. It's basically you can have whatever religion that you want and worship whoever you want, but it's a philosophy of how to view existence.
Which I think is
and
very
so freaking satisfying, I gotta say.
Is very important. Like, you know, as humans, we're constantly looking, like, the thing is, we all have existential crises. What does this all mean? Who am I? What am I doing? Like, we all think about philosophy in our lives. For others, it become, I mean, at least I would, from my point of view, everyone at least once in their life is thinking about, you know, why do I exist? Why am I here? What does attract me about what you're studying right now is that it encompasses everything, because all religions really are covering similar ideas. It's just done in a different way. Everything is there's a god or gods or the universe, or there's some higher power.
Right.
There's some higher thing that none of us can really pinpoint.
Right.
And it's cool to me that what you're studying is sort of all encompassing and will reference other religions in the world, because there are facets of all religions where they will like cast out another religion or another form of thinking. Yeah. And that's something that being raised as a Christian, I mean, not by my mom. I went to church with my grandmother. My mom didn't go to church when I was a kid, but I went with my grandma and I could choose, luckily, whether or not I wanted to go. But just growing up and learning in that environment, there is an aspect of religion where they, in a way, teach you that other things are wrong. Yeah. And what I enjoy about what you're learning is that it's not a casting out of any religion. It's referential to other religions.
Yeah. I mean, it's like what they put it out is like the one truth behind all religions.
Yeah. So it's like a life. It's a philosophy.
Exactly. And that's the thing, that sort of reading about a lot of different religions and stuff, like I just kind of, it's hard for me to believe, like, okay, these guys got it right and everyone else is wrong.
Well,
right?
yeah.
It's like, is it that there's something there that's true, or is it one group got it right and everyone's wrong? I mean, it's hard for me to believe that. It's hard for me to believe that this one specific group of people got it right and everyone else is wrong. Like, I have a hard time with that.
I do too. I also always wonder how much of religion and spirituality are guided by psychedelics in some way. Yeah,
I mean, you mean like in the beginning?
Yeah.
In the basis?
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. When people were potentially consuming things that they did not know would alter their mind state in any way.
Exactly. I mean, and if I don't know how it is for everybody else, but if I take even the slightest amount of mushrooms, something like that, I just feel like that's all I can think about. You know, I can't. Yeah. I'm not trying to like party or anything. You know, I'm just thinking about like, okay, so maybe stuff that I've been reading, or like, you know, we took a couple mushrooms the other day, so I'm not.
Well, I wasn't sure if this was something I was going to bring up right in the first episode or later, but I've been microdosing mushrooms for the last 2 weeks straight, every day.
Damn.
Every day.
So you've been doing it for 2? I didn't know that. I thought you were doing it. I know you did it a few times, but.
Yeah, no, I've been microdosing every day for the last 2 weeks because I am someone who I have anxiety. Everyone get depressed. Everyone has all of these things. I'm not special, but yeah, so I've been microdosing every day for the last 2 weeks. And let me first start by saying this doesn't mean that I'm tripping on mushrooms every day.
Yeah, it's like you take the amount to where you don't feel the
you don't feel the psychedelic. I will say this: the first day I felt the psychoactive side effects.
I took like a really small stem, but I'm like a lightweight. I'm a lightweight with pretty much everything, so I'm not like a huge.
Yeah, things affect you like in a great way. Even caffeine.
Especially caffeine.
But I've been microdosing. I even did earlier today about like when I drink right before I drink my coffee, I'll take a few stems.
It's decriminalized here in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, it's decriminalized because they are beginning to actually study this as a form of alleviating depression and anxiety.
It's completely insane that they have. You know, here's me going to sound like a hippie, but the big pharma thing. Like, I mean, don't get me started. That is a real crisis. A crisis. When you do have other alternate ways of alleviating those problems.
Absolutely.
And I do think that taking a little bit of mushrooms could provide the exact same thing except for without the deadly side effects.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I'll say from my experience of the past 2 weeks, I'm interested to see where it goes over an amount of time. It has eating a few mushrooms in the morning.
A few? That would put me...
No, not a few. Okay, so I'm eating like a tiny amount. I never trip. I don't ever feel like I'm never getting visuals, and I'm never feeling overstimulated in a way that shrooms does, overly laughy, overly...
spiritual.
Yeah. I'm never feeling... That is the thing that I read about microdosing, is that if you're starting to feel like uncomfortably philosophical, you're taking way too much. So...
That's how I feel all the time.
Yeah. Navene is shrooms. So what I will say is, as far as anxiety goes, as far as I've had, to be perfectly honest, I've had anxiety in conversations that I've had, just the way that I talk to people and the way that the things that I say and the things that I do, and social anxiety. Yeah. I've been mildly depressed. I am so like, a part of depression to me has been dwelling on things. It's so easy for me to think of something and let it go.
Yeah.
Microdosing.
Oh, it's easier to let go.
It's so much easier to let go. It's so much easier to have something happen and then to just move on for the rest of the day rather than dwell. Yeah. It's my anxiety. I'm not going to say it's non-existent, but it's much less. I feel happier. I feel I get like a sense of feeling a little more energetic, which I have read that microdosing is supposed to help with caffeine addiction, which, I mean, I know I'm addicted to caffeine, that's for sure. But
honestly, it doesn't seem like you drink that much, because if you got that coffee, you only drink half of it.
Yeah.
If that's what you did today.
Yeah, that's all I drank.
Yeah.
And so far, I've seen nothing but benefits from it. It's been totally beneficial to microdose every day. And I know it sounds crazy, because to me, like 2 years ago when I heard about people microdosing, I was like, wait, what? You're tripping on shrooms every day? That's probably a bad idea, because I've done mushrooms before. You're like getting the belly laughs, and you're seeing the walls move, like the walls melt, the things on the walls.
Yeah.
And the carpet roll. But there are none of those visual elements, and it's been like really a really great experience so far.
That's cool. Yeah, I'd probably do it more, but with my job, I gotta like be real precise. I'm putting holes.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting is that I feel a heightened sense of
motor skills.
Motor skills. Yeah.
Are
a
you
heightened
clumsy
sense.
on the?
No.
Huh.
I'm less clumsy. I'm paying more attention. Yeah, it's interesting.
I'll be darned.
I think it's worth.
It's cursed technically.
If I mean, I will not go out and say that shrooms are for everyone. I know that it's not. I know that if you that if schizophrenia runs in your family, you may this may incite.
Or maybe you've never. I mean, it's possible that somebody has never really thought about super deep stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe you've never thought about who am I?
Yeah.
What is this?
Which is something I've been trying to stop myself.
Yeah. So I mean, let's say you've never thought about that.
Yeah.
Right? And then you get hit with you don't know what to do with
yeah, you're
that.
Gobsmacked.
I mean, that would be horrifying because sometimes just, I don't know, if I'm reading or listening to a lecture or something, I'll be pretty overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Just without any drugs or anything. So, I mean, I get that,
I do too. It's not for everyone. The thing is that the microdosing thing, I never feel like I'm on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've just, it's my fish oil, my little bit of psilocybin,
vitamins.
But that's why it's decriminalized in it's only decriminalized in 3 counties.
Yeah, in the country.
In the country, 3 counties.
But I will say
Oakland, Santa Cruz, and God, I want to say the other one is Denver, but I'm not sure about that.
Oh, Oakland and Santa Cruz.
Oakland and Santa Cruz.
Yeah, I will say the day that I did the microdose, I was like, of course this should be legal.
Yeah.
What are you, crazy?
Well, here's the thing. Back in the 50s and the 40s, before psilocybin was made to be, I think it was a Schedule 1 drug, it was being researched. There is actually ample evidence of it being helpful in depression and anxiety and all of these things. But I feel like because of the whole Timothy Leary thing, and Timothy Leary was actively trying to get the whole, everyone to do acid and everyone to do shrooms. And it was the tune in, drop out thing. And I feel like because of all of that, and the whole hippie movement making drugs look really bad.
Yeah, I get that. I'm getting that angle.
That's why it became criminalized.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and I feel the same way about marijuana. Marijuana should not be illegal anywhere at all. We have the ability to drink alcohol, which to me, I've seen people do a lot of drugs. I've seen people do heroin. I've seen people do shrooms, acid, weed, alcohol. They get the craziest on alcohol. Yeah. People become the craziest on alcohol, and it's not good.
It's not good. But that being said, I think that obviously that is a problem, but I mean, look at how many people die from painkillers and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I fucking hate Big Pharma.
I think it's gone up to second leading cause of death in the country.
I think
besides,
so.
Poor eating.
Well, I think that alcohol is
alcohol
is pretty high up there, but alcohol is the number one. When you in murders, I believe.
I got you right here.
Yeah.
50% of violent crime,
alcohol induced.
One of the people is on alcohol.
Yeah.
So 50% of violent crime.
Right.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
I'm not saying to make it illegal. Obviously.
Me either.
I don't want that. I like
Me either.
Beer,
I mean, I'm drinking beer right now. I think it tastes great.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know why we're.
What's weird with alcohol though is that when I was younger, I liked to get drunk a lot more. I don't like drinking very much now.
Yeah,
I like to drink it for fun, but back in the day, I would drink to get S-faced.
I honestly don't. I think what we're doing is cool. We've shared 3 beers, so 1.5 beers a piece.
Mm-hmm.
That is I'm at my limit right now.
Yeah.
You know, I think I don't know. That's just where I'm at personally. And that's what I think is good about, what was I going to say? Oh, well, I'm reading this book about yoga right now. And a lot of it is about, they put forth these ideals, right? But they're real specific to say, you know, keep the ideal in mind. And as you sort of progress as a person, you'll just acquire those. Instead of going like, I'm going super hardcore. I'm not drinking. I'm not eating anything. You know what I mean? Like when you do, like, that's how you fall. What was that?
Did you hear that?
Was that a dog?
I think there was a wreck outside.
Oh, I thought it was
Holy shit.
We do live next to a highway.
Yeah.
So.
That was insane.
But that's sort of, to circle back, I think I was doing a bit of that before, you know, going way too hard. I'm going to get up at 5:30. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go do jujitsu.
We did that so successfully for like 9 months.
Yeah, and
we both did that. I didn't go to
great, but I want to cultivate more of a like the austerities, the things that I'm sort of giving up in my life. I want them to sort of match what's going on inside.
Yeah.
Right. So it feels a little more natural. It's not like I think compared to some people, they would see how I live and say, wow, like this guy's really disciplined, you know, and compared to some people, they would say I'm not at all.
Yeah.
Right. And but to me, the way I don't feel like I'm being super strict with myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm being honest with where I'm at in my life.
Which I think is important to like do things that are actually manageable.
Exactly. So
to do.
Because sometimes these ideals that you're trying to do, they'll cause you more stress than good, right?
Absolutely.
Like, I'm going to read this, whatever, you read some scripture and you're like, because a lot of these Vedic scriptures that I read, a lot of them are about self-control, about austerity, giving a lot of stuff up, abstaining from a lot of different things in life, these pleasures, desires, giving all that up, you know. And so you could say, okay, I'm going super hardcore, and it's like, that's going to actually not work for you because you're not that advanced yet. So as you sort of progress with, you know, learning and on the inside, the reflection is I'm becoming more disciplined outwardly.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
I think another thing this brought up to me that has been learned during this whole quarantine process is to not spread yourself too thin.
I agree.
To not... Okay, there are thousands, millions, trillions of hobbies in this world for each of us to grasp onto and take up. To me, I feel like it's most important to focus on the things that I actually love doing and kind of continue to elevate myself in those areas.
Dude, I've been thinking about like Navene's like rules for life. Like if I wrote like a book, I don't know, just like a guideline that I would prescribe. Yeah. It would be, one of them is don't spread yourself too thin. Yeah. And pick like 2 things. And that's all. That's all you get. Yeah. Just do
only
the 2
2
things.
I would say 5.
Well, it's different categories, right? So I'd be like, pick a creative thing, a spiritual thing, a health like activity thing. Mm-hmm. So like one in each category.
I mean, and if you don't have any hobbies, then you should probably pick up a few.
Yeah, some people have the problem of I can't find a hobby. Yeah. You know, I don't.
Which
I don't
just
problem,
if you do,
obviously.
I mean, yeah, I don't have that problem, so it's very hard for me to speak from the point of view of someone who has no hobby. But if you don't, think about something that you like really want to get into, and do it.
I know.
Do it, because I feel like a lot of the time we will think about things that we really want to get into and we'll be like, oh, I'm going to suck at it. It's just not. I know. And things that you want to get into are not fun at the beginning because you're not very good.
I know.
You're never going to be that good at something when you first start. I mean, never. And the first step is actually picking the thing up and trying and doing it. And over a period of time, you will become much better at it.
Of course. And it's not too late.
It's never too late.
It's
not too late.
It doesn't matter.
Too late.
Like, it literally...
Do you remember that song?
No.
You don't know that song?
Uh-uh.
Maybe I'm just singing it out of tune.
But that's what I was thinking about me. Like, I'm 35, and I was like, man, I kind of want to start something now. And then when I'm 40, I'll be, like, good at it.
Yeah. You also have a lot of skills that you're really good at.
What?
We don't need you to pick up any more hobbies to be in Jesus
you.
Christ. Our house is full of them.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I'm not picking up very many
I'm just
hobbies.
kidding.
Or if I do a hobby, it's got to be like a cheap one. Like
Navene's rules.
Like
these are the rules.
I mean, yeah. I got a lot of them. I'll just give you that one for today.
Do we have another beer?
There is one more, but I think I'm good, honestly.
I want half of it.
All right. Well, do you want to get dinner?
Yeah, I think we should go in half. I wanted to talk about if we're listening to any music.
Well, we'll have to save that one for the next show.
No, I'm going to talk about it in this one.
I haven't been listening to music.
You haven't been listening to music. I want to
Negative.
I want to name drop a couple of shits that that I've been listening to.
Stuffs.
The new Black Crown Initiate is really good.
Damn.
The new Aunt May is really good.
I know that will be good, but I just haven't checked it out yet. I feel like a jerk, because I'm so involved with that band.
That is really jerkish of you.
I know it's sick.
It's called Mephitic.
I'll check it out.
And
what is that word? What's the word?
Mephitic.
That's a good word.
Have you seen the cover?
Oh, I thought you said me. I thought you were saying like me not checking it out is that word. I was thinking, wow, Chaney's just like busting them out.
No, Mephitic is the name of
Yeah, I've seen the cover.
Album.
Looks like a beehole.
It looks like a total butthole.
One of the gates.
I feel like they may have sent. I don't know. You know better than me. Do you think they said?
Oh yeah.
They sent a picture of one of their buttholes,
For
and they
sure.
said, "Here's the reference."
Definitely.
Photo.
Definitely.
All right.
Maybe we ought to get those guys on the show. They're funny.
That would be tight.
They're good guys.
Yeah. We'll fly them out with all of our podcast money. Yeah. So check out those new albums. The new Ocean album, my long-awaited follow-up to Phanerozoic. God, I'm probably pronouncing that so horribly, but I loved that album.
Don't worry, we're an hour and 42
and here's
deep.
Part
no
two.
one's gonna hear this part.
Part 2 is coming out Friday, so y'all need to check that shit out because they are one of my favorite bands that I've gotten into. I got into them just a couple of years ago, so they're one of my favorite bands that exist right now. Other than that, I've been listening to a lot of Marissa Nadler. Emma Ruth Rundle, always.
I almost got the cat, but she ran out.
Chelsea Wolfe. It's fall time, so I've been listening to fall music.
Let's throw on a record and have some dinner.
Yeah, so we're going to throw on a record and have some dinner. This has been awesome. I'm so glad to have the podcast back. It fucking rules.
It feels pretty good.
It feels good.
It feels pretty good. We came on a little strong, right? We were coming on a little like, fuck everybody. But we'll see you guys next week, man.
Yeah.
What up?
We're back. Our cat's scared. All right. Have a good fucking week, you guys.
Peace.